How's it going, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is George and I'm your friendly neighborhood anime and manga fan. I love all things anime and all things manga, and I'm here today to talk about Chainsaw Man chapter 169. So, what did I think about this week's chapter? Honestly, I thought this week's chapter was fantastic, and one of the main reasons is because, first of all, we got sushi. So the gang actually went to get their sushi, so that was always a plus. You know, I'm a big sushi fan, so I love seeing anytime I see people eating sushi, makes me hungry, makes me crave it. I'm probably gonna get some after, I'm done recording this video later in the day. But in all honesty, I thought that this week's chapter was great because we also get the reintroduction of an old character that I myself didn't think he was going to show up at all in this chapter. It was very shocking, and from the thumbnail, you can tell who I'm talking about. Now, before I go any further with this week's chapter, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder to make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you guys can be up to date with all my Chainsaw Man, as well as all my anime and manga content that I'll be providing in this channel. It really helps out a lot, and I would really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe to my YouTube channel. So if you guys could, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into this week's chapter. So this week's chapter starts off where they pretty much just straight up, they go to the sushi place. They finally get there. They're all vibing, they're eating, and Denji, throughout it all, he's just like out of it. He's just like looking around, he's looking at people, and my man is just like, he's still at awe of what happened in the last chapter, where Asa and Yoru, their whole interaction, and we don't gotta get into it, but we already know what happened. But pretty much he's still like dumbfounded by the whole situation. We see that pretty much he is mentally just thinking to himself like okay, this is like the funniest thing like to think about, but it's also very gross. He's like, wait, have everybody in this like, he's looking at the people in the restaurant. It's like, has everybody in this restaurant, have they like relieved themselves from someone else's hand as well? Like, I was like, okay, Denji, only you would think that. And also I'm like thinking to myself like, oh no, but the sushi makers, like, no bro, I don't want to. That made me like my stomach a little, like, it made me like gag a little bit from through. Like, I feel like I was like, oh, this is so gross, because I was like, they're touching your food, they're making the sushi and all that. Like, come on, why you bringing that up, Denji? Like, why you bring that up, man? Different light on whenever I eat sushi now. That's the thing that I'm gonna think about, thanks to Denji. So thanks, Denji, for that. But what happens is pretty much throughout it all, he's like, Pochita, like, this was the first time I climaxed because of someone else. Like now, did it feel better than when I do it myself? Not really, but it's still like, I don't know whether to be happy or not. And he's like, it's a very big moment for Denji, because he's thinking to himself like, like, this is the first time I've ever like relieved myself through someone else, and like pretty much in a sexual manner. It's the first time like somebody has done that to me, that I felt some kind of feelings back towards. That it wasn't like a manipulative, or it wasn't like trying to kill me. But yeah, from when we see, the funniest part is we turn back to Asa's point of view, and she's looking at Denji just kind of like, because he's dumbfounded still, and you see Asa kind of like shy and like very like, obviously uncomfortable with the whole situation. And we see pretty much that she tells like Fami, like, hey Fami, I'm just gonna wait outside, because like, I'm not gonna eat anything from here. And I was like, come on, Asa, stop being a little brat. Eat the darn sushi. Come on, man, you're missing out. I know you don't like fish, but fish is, listen, sushi, man, that's your food. I don't care what anybody says. I love sushi. You take me to an all-you-can-eat sushi, I'm devouring the whole staff kitchen, okay? I'm eating the whole leftovers. Like, they ain't gonna have no leftovers. They're gonna have to shut down business after that day, all right? But what happens is pretty much that, Fami's just like with her mouth open, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, she's just like, and then Asa's like, what'd you just say? So it was also funny seeing Fami just like be like completely gross, as she usually is when she's eating. And we then cut to the Kobeni's brother talking to the Chainsaw Man fanboy. I always forget his name. You guys know what I'm talking about, the guy with the little headband thing, And they're talking. He was like, hey man, like, Asa's crazy. Like, she just lost an arm and she's just chilling. Like, I don't know, if I lost an arm, I'll be crying or something. And they're talking about like, like, this is crazy how she's just like vibing and minding her business. And out of nowhere, who comes in to interrupt their conversation? Barem shows up out of nowhere. And my man's talking about like, oh, like, when you cut an animal's limb, they just adapt. And he's talking about like how Asa just adapted the whole situation. And Barem showing up was something that I myself was not expecting. Like, I was like, what? It was very shocking. Like, when I was reading that, I was like, oh my god, this guy's back. Oh man, oh brother, this guy stinks. I was just thinking like the SpongeBob meme. And as he shows up, he's like, obviously Denji turns his attention towards him and automatically, not playing around, grabs a knife, is going for the death, like for the kill. My man is not joking around. Now, I think to mention is I knew that Barem was probably not gonna die after all because he's like a hybrid, obviously. But I thought he was like detained or something. So I'm very curious to see what is Nayuta's fate. Like what happened after, you know, the last time we saw her, because we know that Barem was there with Nayuta, and I want to know what happened. Barem seems to know what happened, obviously, because he tells Denji, like right before Denji's gonna attack him, is like, I can take you to Nayuta. And you see Denji just like, what? And you see like the whole thing is that Barem then tells us, the audience, like, okay, hear me out, here's the situation. Public safety has cornered this entire sushi place from the outside. So the second we step out, they're gonna like destroy us. So we gotta come up with a plan and we gotta work together. So I'm asking you, Denji, work together with me. And this was a thing that I was not expecting, like an alliance like this. Like what? Even if it's a temporary alliance, I never thought that Denji would actually like even give Barem any thought of notion of like, you know, hearing him out, because obviously of all the terrible things he's done. But right now Denji's in a, you know, in a very tight situation where he needs to like protect Nayuta and find a way for her to be safely rescued. And Barem seems to be the only one that can lead him to that journey and that destination. So, you know, it's a very unlikely alliance that I myself, like I said, didn't expect at all. But it's an alliance that Denji has to deal with for the time being if it wants to save Nayuta. And what happens is, you know, Denji, throughout it all, he's just asking like Barem, like, hey, so like, you know, what exactly like do you want me to do? Because like, I don't know, like, you don't really have a game plan. We just came here to eat, like, you know. You just showed up out of nowhere, unannounced, you know. And Barem is like, okay, here's the thing. We'll talk about that, but first, very important thing, eat this egg roll. Like, eat this egg sushi. And you're like, what the heck, man? Like, bro, of course Barem would get something like that, bro. Like, okay. Like, listen, I like egg. I love egg, actually. You know, I devour eggs like that. But an egg sushi, hyping him up to eat it? Like, come on, bro. At least give me some crab. Give me some, like, you know, give me some salmon, give me something, bro. But you know, you brought up the egg roll. Come on, bro. Like, Barem, my man bringing like mashed potatoes to the cookout. I swear, my man is bringing unseasoned mashed potatoes to that cookout. All right, if there was ever a cookout in the Chainsaw Man universe, Barem would be the type of guy that would bring like raisin cookies, unseasoned mashed potatoes. You know, just plain spaghetti, like just the most generic, basic foods, all right? But in all seriousness, I do enjoy how this chapter played out, because like I said, I was not expecting none of this to happen. I didn't expect Barem to show up again. Like, I knew he was going to show up probably later in the story, but I was not expecting him to show up like when they're eating sushi. That was like super shocking and very like out of nowhere. But that's typical Fujimoto style, you know. It's very unpredictable, which I really, really love. I mean, that's one of the strengths of Fujimoto. And I'm very curious to see what plays out in the next chapter, because now it seems like, you know, they're going to work together to fight the public safety. Which, by the way, is it just me, or public safety are just jokes? Like, honestly, like, are they a threat? Like, let's say you guys walked out of the door, like, all together. Like, would they be able to stop you guys? Like, who do they have? I mean, they had Quan Chi, but, you know, she kind of like, well, she did let them go. So if Quan Chi shows up again, it's like, oh, probably like, oh, we can't let you go again. Like, I already let you once. But who do they have, man? Like, a bunch of like frauds. They just got, you know, they got Fumiko, the fraud Miko. They got pretty much like, who do they have? Like, I'm just wondering, like, seriousness, like, who do they have to take them down? Because I don't see anybody even coming close. So that's something that I'm very curious to see in the next chapter, if they actually fight or if they don't know how to escape. Whatever the case, I'm very excited for the next week's chapter, because I love this chapter and I can't wait to see what Fujimoto cooks up next time. Now, with all that being said, what did you guys think about this week's chapter? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you say that was alright? Whatever you guys thought, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Chainsaw Man, as well as more anime and manga content in the near future. But yeah, with all that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.